Welcome back. So the January 6th Select Committee issued a new wave of subpoenas this week to several Trump allies, including Roger Stone and InfoWars founder Alex Jones. The committee also targeting right-wing extremist groups and leaders involved in the attack, namely the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. The panel has now handed down 40 subpoenas in its probe and claims to have spoken to more than 200 witnesses. That includes key players from former President Trump's inner circle who are continuing to stonewall the investigation, refusing to testify or produce vital documents on the grounds of privilege. Back with me now is my panel, Barbara McQuade, MSNBC legal analyst and former U.S. attorney in Michigan. Also Joyce Vance, MSNBC legal analyst and former U.S. attorney as well. Welcome back, ladies. Barbara, let me start with you on this one. Give me your reaction, of course, to this new strategy taken by the Bannon team, it seems, filing a motion to request all documents in court be made public. Why? What's the strategy here?
Yeah, this is an old trick that often gets used in national security cases. It's referred to as gray mail. And the idea is to make the case as uncomfortable as possible for the government, demanding more and more documents, including those that may be classified or very sensitive, things that the government does not want to give up. Sometimes if you can't produce documents that the defense has persuaded the judge he's entitled to see, you can sometimes get the case dismissed because the government does not want to give up certain classified materials. Now, I think we're a long ways from that point. The prosecutor in this case has said there's only 20 documents that need to be turned over. Steve Bannon said, oh, no, there are many more. We're going to seek many, many documents from the administration and from Congress and from others. So we'll hope that the judge keeps a tight leash on this case. But I think that's the strategy that they're deploying right now.
Got it. Joyce, let's play some sound from Mark Meadows and his reaction to the latest subpoenas being issued.
I read about them subpoenaing Roger Stone and Alex Jones, and I can tell you that I'm not aware of anybody in the White House that had conversations with either one of those individuals. But it just seems like they are just determined to pull out the phone book and subpoena as many people as they possibly can in hopes that they find a narrative that will stick politically.
What else needs to be done at this point, Joyce? I mean, we know, for instance, with Mark Meadows, he's been threatened with criminal contempt charges, but that's about it. What needs to be done to secure the information they need from individuals like Meadows, like Steve Bannon?
Well, I'd expect we'll hear that audio tape actually played back against Meadows if the government is forced to compel or prosecute him to obtain his testimony. He sure makes a good case for himself as a witness, saying that some people didn't have conversations and, of course, implying that other people did. But the real story here with the January 6th committee's work is the volume of witnesses who are speaking to them without subpoenas and the documents that we're getting. And we see that reflected in some of these newer subpoenas, which contain information that's clearly coming from witnesses, and they're being very, very definitive. For instance, with some of the folks in the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, when they explain why they're seeking their testimony. Also with some of the folks who were organizers of the January 6th event. And the committee, I mean, they're just clearly demonstrating that they have the ability to walk and chew gum at the same time. They're looking at organizers, they're looking at organizations, and they clearly have a trajectory where they're trying to obtain the information that they need. Whether they'll be able to go back and get people like Bannon to testify is still an open question. Even if Bannon is convicted, that's no guarantee that he will ever testify, but the committee will then have opportunities to engage in civil contempt proceedings that could find him back in prison and holding his own keys to his jail cell based on when he chooses to testify or not.
I also will be curious to see as to whether or not they're able to get members of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers to testify. I imagine that's going to be quite an uphill battle, too. Barbara McQuade, Joyce Vance, thank you both. That wraps up the hour for me, everybody. I'm Yasmin Vasugian. I'll be back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Reverend Al Sharpton and Politics Nation starts right now.